In the quiet Ghanaian village of Odidom, the morning air was cool, heavy with the scent of wet earth from the previous night's rain. Kwame, a young man in his early 20s, trudged along the muddy path toward the Golden Crest Hotel, where he worked as a cleaner. His faded uniform hung loosely on his lean frame, and his worn-out shoes squelched with every step. In one hand, he carried a small plastic bag with a modest breakfast of boiled yam, in the other, a pair of threadbare cleaning gloves. Despite his hardships, Kwame walked with determination, eager to avoid being late. As he approached the main road, the roar of an engine shattered the morning calm. A sleek black SUV sped past, its tires slicing through a deep puddle. In an instant, a wave of muddy water drenched Kwame, soaking his clothes, face, and breakfast. He froze, stunned, as the vehicle slowed. The tinted window rolled down, revealing a glamorous woman in designer sunglasses and a silk scarf. Her lips curled into a mocking smile. "Next time, stay off the road, boy," she sneered before speeding off, her laughter echoing in the humid air. Kwame stood rooted to the spot, his heart pounding. Mud dripped from his face, but he clenched his jaw, refusing to let tears fall. He picked up his soggy bag and continued toward the hotel, unaware that a pair of sharp eyes had witnessed the entire scene. Across the road, in a modest grey sedan, sat Madam Abina, a wealthy but discreet businesswoman who owned several properties in the region, including the Golden Crest Hotel. Her expression hardened as she recognized the driver of the SUV, Lydia Mensah, a self-proclaimed socialite known for her arrogance and flashy lifestyle. Madam Abina's fingers tightened around her phone. "Find out who that young man is," she instructed her driver, her voice calm but resolute. "I want to know everything." Kwame arrived at the Golden Crest Hotel looking like he'd been caught in a storm. His supervisor, Mr. Teta, scowled as Kwame entered the staff entrance. "Kwame, you're late, and look at this mess," he barked. Kwame lowered his eyes. "I'm sorry, sir. A car splashed me on the way. I tried to clean up." "No excuses," Mr. Teta snapped. "The guests arrive soon, and this place must be spotless. Get to work." Kwame nodded silently, ignoring the pitying glances from his coworkers. He changed into a spare uniform, tied back his short dreadlocks, and began cleaning, his movements precise despite the ache in his chest. He thought of his younger brother, Kofi, back home in their cramped rented room, depending on Kwame's wages for school fees and food. He couldn't afford to falter. Meanwhile, in her lavish office in Accra, Lydia Mensah admired herself in a gold-framed mirror, adjusting her diamond earrings. Her phone buzzed with notifications from her social media followers, praising her latest fashion post. She smirked, sipping a glass of imported juice. "That boy was too close to the road," she said to her assistant, who nodded nervously. "He's lucky I didn't run him over." Lydia's world was one of glamour and power, where people like Kwame were invisible until they got in her way. Across town, Madam Abina sat in her office, a modern space with views of the Volta River. Her assistant handed her a file. "His name is Kwame Asante, age 22. Works as a cleaner at Golden Crest Hotel and a night shift at a local restaurant. Lives in a small room with his younger brother, Kofi. Their father passed away 3 years ago." Madam Abina studied the grainy photo of Kwame, his face weary but kind as he walked with Kofi. "He didn't deserve that humiliation," she said softly. "Do nothing yet. Let's observe." The next morning, Kwame woke early to prepare Kofi for school. He tied his brother's shoelaces, packed a small lunch of groundnut paste and bread, and hugged him tightly. "Be good, okay," he said. Kofi grinned. "You too, Kwame." At the hotel, Kwame found something unusual in his locker, a brown paper bag containing new cleaning gloves, a warm loaf of fresh bread, and a note. For the young man who walks with dignity, even when the world is unkind. Kwame stared, puzzled but touched. He looked around, but no one seemed to know anything. For the first time in months, he felt a flicker of warmth. Madam Abina, watching the hotel's security feed through a private access link, smiled faintly as she saw Kwame's reaction. She had seen his quiet strength, the way he carried on despite the mud and mockery. It reminded her of her own humble beginnings as a market trader before she built her empire. She made a call to the hotel's regional manager. "Promote him," she said firmly. "Find a way," quietly. The manager hesitated. "He's just a cleaner, madam." Her tone sharpened. "He's more than that. Make it happen." That afternoon, Mr. Tete called Kwame over. "You're moving to the VIP wing, effective tomorrow. Better pay, less mess." Kwame's eyes widened. "Sir, I didn't apply, it's approved," Mr. Tete cut in. "Don't question it." Whispers spread among the staff. VIP wing. For Kwame. He must know someone important. Kwame ignored the gossip, his heart lifting with cautious hope. As Kwame adjusted to his new role, his diligence shone. The VIP wing sparkled under his care, and guests began noticing his quiet efficiency. But not everyone was pleased. Esther, a senior cleaner, muttered to her colleagues, "He's been here less than a year, and now he's on VIP. He's probably scheming behind our backs." Kwame felt the cold stares but kept his focus, determined to prove his worth. Meanwhile, Lydia's world began to crack. An envelope arrived at her office, containing a blurry photo of her SUV splashing mud on Kwame. A sticky note read, "Not everyone forgets." Her face paled. "Who's behind this?" she demanded, tearing the note. For the first time, her confidence wavered. On social media, a post surfaced, "Some think wealth excuses cruelty." It spread quickly, and though her name wasn't mentioned, the comments hinted at her. She snapped at her assistant, "Find out who's doing this." At the hotel, Kwame found another note in his locker, "Keep shining. The world sees you." He smiled, wondering who his mysterious supporter was. Madam Abina, watching from afar, felt a growing resolve. Kwame's humility and strength deserved more than small gestures. She was planning something bigger. One morning, as Kwame walked to work, a familiar black SUV pulled up beside him. Lydia lowered her window, her smile cold. "You're Kwame, right? You've caused quite a stir. Now people think I'm some monster." Kwame stepped back, his voice steady. "I didn't do anything. I just want to work." Lydia laughed sharply. "You think Madam Abina cares about you? She'll tire of our little charity case." With that, she sped off, leaving Kwame shaken but resolute. Later, during his break, Madam Abina approached him in the hotel cafe, dressed simply to avoid attention. She handed him a folder. "This is a scholarship for a hospitality management course in Accra, fully funded. You can work part-time here if you choose." Kwame's hands trembled. "Why me, madam?" She smiled gently. "Because you never gave up, even when life tried to break you." Kwame's eyes glistened, but he held back tears. "Thank you," he whispered. That evening, Lydia watched from a distance as Kwame left the hotel, the scholarship folder in hand. Her act of cruelty had sparked something she couldn't control, and now the boy she'd mocked was rising. A year later, at the Golden Crest Hotel's anniversary gala, Kwame stood tall in a simple but elegant suit, no longer a cleaner but a guest of honor. His scholarship had led to top marks in his course, and he'd been offered a junior management role at the hotel. Madam Abina stood beside him, her pride evident. "You've earned this, Kwame," she said. On stage, Kwame spoke to the crowd. "A year ago, I was just a boy walking to work, covered in mud from a careless act. I was invisible until one cruel moment and one kind heart changed everything. I'm here because I kept going, and because someone believed in me. The room erupted in applause, and even Esther, now humbled, clapped softly. Lydia, uninvited but present, watched from the shadows. Her social media empire had crumbled after her father cut her off, furious at her role in the smear campaign against Kwame. She left the gala silently, her world forever altered. That night, Kwame returned to the spot where Lydia's SUV had splashed him. The road was now paved, smooth and clean. He removed his shoes and walked barefoot across it, Madame Abina joining him. "What are you doing?" she asked, smiling. Kwame paused. "Leaving behind the boy I was and stepping into who I am now." She nodded, taking off her own shoes to walk beside him. As they moved forward under the starlit sky, Kwame's story spread across Odidom and beyond, a tale of resilience and kindness triumphing over cruelty. From a single splash of mud, a flower had bloomed, bright enough to inspire a village, and perhaps the world.